The 20-year anniversary of 9/11 happened over the weekend, and one town in Indiana thought it would be just this fantastic idea to commemorate 9/11 by making a float out of popcorn that looks like the World Trade Center after it had been hit by the planes. So let's take a look at the parade, well, the float in question, if you will. Here's an image of it. And probably a little distasteful, probably don't do that. The town is known for popcorn. I don't know why, but it is what it is. This town is Valparaiso, I don't know, I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but nonetheless, this is what they decided to do. And the best part of the story is the reaction that some of the people in the town had as this float was traveling through. So let's watch. Yeah, like what the hell? Why? Why do this? So it's made out of popcorn. I want to give you some other reactions about this. It was these are commenters on the Republican Party's Facebook page. They did not like it. They did not think it was respectful. I don't know what the theme for Popcorn Fest is this year, but I'm pretty disappointed in this float. We don't ever need to forget 9/11, but was it necessary to depict the burning towers? Very distasteful. The local Republican Party chair, though, thought it was great. He said, his name's Mike Simpson, I think we hit it spot on. They all liked it. Later, by the way, the town's Republican Party decided to limit or restrict comments on its Facebook page, probably because they were getting so much backlash. But like, to me, the thing that stands out the most about this story is how like the local Republican Party chair, the fact that he said, we think we hit it spot on, they all liked it. Like, that's just the go-to move anytime a Republican gets any backlash for anything. It's like, no, everyone loves it. People are saying that they love the popcorn float. They love it. We're not gonna apologize. And then people forget about it because that's how people are. Yeah, I mean, that's just obviously distasteful, and in a place where 9/11 didn't happen, right? You can understand why these people don't kind of get it. I was thinking about that day and that whole occurrence because of all of the stuff around the 20th anniversary. And honestly, man, I just think about the fear, the paranoia, as in New York specifically, where you just felt so scared that something was gonna happen for a long time. Like, that feeling will never leave me, right? Like, remembering how it felt to move around the city and be scared, basically to take the subway and all of that sort of trauma, like actual trauma that we felt as New York City residents immediately after it. And then, of course, compounded by that is how that fear, that paranoia, that trauma was weaponized, right? For just the most horrible, unconscionable ends when it comes to millions dead in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and basically a wealth transfer to the defense industry. That's what we got out of this. That's how we honored our dead from that day, is we basically went in and violently killed 1 million Iraqi and Afghans combined via our wars there, and we handed over what some people are saying $6 trillion to the defense industry for the right to do so. It's it's kind of painful when you think about it. I know. I mean, that's why Tulsi Gabbard has to heroically support special forces in Africa as they try to fight Al-Qaeda, as an anti-war individual who's really been fighting against these forever wars. It's just, it really is disappointing that she has no choice but to support special ops in Africa. Yeah, I went there.
I went there.
Yeah, it's crazy, and she's working for one of the defense contractors who manufactured these ridiculous wars in the first place. Like these dudes, literally, it was just a money pit for those people to fill their pockets. Building roads in Afghanistan where like 80% of the population is riding donkeys. Like it's absurd the amount of waste that went into those projects, and the tone deafness of it all. And when Joe Biden pulls out, even with the freaking lefties, not the lefties, the libs and the crazy neocons on TV repudiating his decision to pull out, the suicide bomb, all of that. Everybody smearing him for doing it, all of that. 75% of Americans think we did the right thing by getting the hell out of Dodge. 75%. And this lady gets up here and talks about fighting Al-Qaeda. Like the tone deafness of that is staggering.
Yeah, absolutely. But even during her campaigning, where she, presented herself as some sort of anti-war progressive, she was kind of hiding in plain sight. I mean, it wasn't that difficult to look at her record and see the types of awful military action she was supportive of and in favor of. I mean, she literally questioned the criticism or critiques regarding torture on television. I mean, during an interview, she was asked about I believe it was the 2014 torture report, and it had already been out for at least a month. I think it was about 6 weeks it had been out at that point. She was asked about it, and she's like she was engaged in a ridiculous thought exercise about how, I don't know, in some cases torture might make sense. No, torture did not make sense. Torture did not make sense. We broke international laws in committing torture. It did not help us, cultivate or gain any type of critical intel to prevent terrorist attacks. It was just flat out abuse and war crimes. And to try to make an excuse for it under any circumstance is ridiculous. But everyone wanted to just pretend like those statements weren't a big deal. No, they mattered. I mean, you want to take a look at who politicians are when they're not campaigning, when they think people aren't looking. You want to take a good hard look at their voting records. And I'm just saying, if you're a huge supporter of Narendra Modi, maybe not really a peaceful person who wants to really dive into the culture of aloha. I'm just saying. There's no amount of yoga videos or, whatever that could convince me otherwise. And I'm anyway.
He's a fraud.
There are a lot of great ways to watch the Young Turks, but is there a best way? Of course, the best way is to watch live. Tune in weekdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You get our uncensored, unapologetic version of the news that you won't get anywhere else. Watch us live.